All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing well. We're back again with another live stream, bringing you the latest in Chelsea transfer news and news in general. You guys today, man, news is popping off, and as expected, this is exactly what I expected as the season finished. I thought we were going to get a whole heap of news, and that's exactly what's happening. Obviously, players have got to go. Some players have got to come in. Some information from, Mauricio Pochettino's side. Some quotes, some comments from many people. Raheem Sterling coming out and seems like inadvertently slamming, Graham Potter and Frank Lampard. So we'll touch on that and a whole heap of stuff. Like there's Romelu Lukaku stuff. There's many news from many different avenues. Big up to each and every one of you guys that has joined in. Smash the like button. As soon as you come through, smash the like button. Yesterday, obviously, we had our first segment of the transfer news specials as the season has ended. As I said, it's going to crank up now. It's absolutely going to crank up. And it was great numbers. Great to see so many likes on the video. Great to see so many views as well. So keep smashing those likes. Keep, subscribing as well if you're here for the first time. And let's get to 23,000 subscribers. I think that is the plan next up. Big up to each and every one of you guys. Big up to Shanu, Frederick, Samuel RS7, Mithun, Saib, my man, Ryan T, Elias. By the way, just because I saw the name Ryan, I had a really, really good conversation with Ryan earlier today. So we will come back very soon. Ryan was busy with a bit of work and a bit of studies, and he was just preparing for his channel. And I don't want to give too much away. He's going to talk about that. So he'll be very, very soon on this channel. And we're going to be doing a whole heap of tactical analysis in regards to Pochettino. So do keep your eyes peeled out for that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get cracking into the news straight away. First up, Fabrizio Romano just tweeted a moment ago, negotiations continue for Manuel Ugarte deal. David Datro Fofana is currently not part of the discussions between Chelsea and Sporting, but Chelsea are now insisting to find a solution. Poch wants Ugarte. Clear cut. Pochettino wants Manuel Ugarte. It is as clear as it gets. I hope we don't fail him on this one. Seems like, right, if we can probably say we're probably going to fail him with the Mason Mount situation. He wants to keep Mason Mount, but I think we're going to fail him on that situation. Let's not fail him for the Ugarte, transfer at the moment. He really wants him. Let's get him. When a manager wants a player, we should try and do our level best to get that situation. And of course, obviously, there's going to be compromise. There might be some times where you think the manager wants that player and it may not work. The board wants someone else. It has to be a compromise, of course. But in this situation, it makes me feel it's a reasonable price. It's a very good player. And I think the combination between Ugarte and Enzo Fernandez will be fantastic. So, there's a lot to look forward to with a player like Ugarte. PSG also pushing, they're still in the race. So this obviously dropped a moment ago. A couple of hours ago before that, there was information, by the way, from Record Portugal. Manuel Ugarte prefers Chelsea to PSG because he wants to come to the Premier League. Thank God that he's chosen Chelsea. I'm very, very pleased and happy to hear about that. He's thinking about choosing Chelsea. I don't think he's chosen Chelsea as yet because the offers are still on the table from PSG side as well. But I'm glad he's preferring Premier League as opposed to league with PSG. And then this is a news that was floating around from Record Portugal. And this is something that Rob Journalism from Twitter said as well, that we could potentially look to sweeten the deal by providing a player plus the cash for Sporting Lisbon. So this is what Record Portugal said a couple of hours ago. Chelsea's offer for Manuel Ugarte is 60 million plus 5 million in add-ons, with David Datro Fofana included on the loan. But obviously, Fabrizio Romano has dismissed that by saying that David Datro Fofana is currently not part of the discussion. However, he said, but Chelsea are now insisting to find a solution. So who knows what that solution could be. But bottom line, there is a 60 million release clause for Ugarte, and it seems like this is where I've not only record Portugal, but I've seen Chelsea in the know people also say that it is 60 plus 5, plus there could be a player. Now, David Datro Fofana, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mind. I actually don't mind. If we don't have David Datro Fofana in our plans next season, I don't want him to be rotting in the bench. And most importantly, I don't want him to be playing in the academy. He's too good for the academy. So if there is an opportunity to go to Sporting Lisbon, but then again, we got to ensure that he plays for Sporting. No point in going to Sporting and he's not playing there either. I feel like he may play for Sporting. Rob Journalism just said Sporting don't want a loan player unless there's an option, going to be same financial offer with project deciding factor. There you go. I think yesterday he did say that there could be a player in offer. Obviously, these things change as the negotiations get deeper and deeper, which is fine. We just have to be flexible and not feel that, that guy said this guy said that. I think what we just need to do during this time frame is gather all information as possible, let it marinate, and assess the entire situation holistically. What we can definitely say right now is Chelsea are very deep in conversations with Manuel Ugarte. Like this is legit, a particular target that Chelsea is very, very keen on. So, hopefully we find a solution, ladies and gentlemen. I am very keen on Manuel Ugarte. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Manuel Ugarte and what you think about, this price tag. Apparently, we're not going to want to hit the entire release clause at once. We do want to pay in installments. Obviously, helps out with FFP. But tell me how you guys feel about Ugarte before we go on to the next topic. So much to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. So much to cover. Salam, my brother. Have not seen much of Ugarte. What are your thoughts? Wa alaikum assalam, my brother. Look, I've watched him a handful amount of times. Obviously, I watched him during the Europa League match against Arsenal. Then from there on, I watched a few more matches of Sporting. All I can say is that he's combative, man. Like he won't shy away from a duel. He's got that dog in him, Uruguayan. So he loves a duel, man. His defensive stats are very, very good if you check it out on social media. He's got high energy. He's always on the front foot. He's driving forward. He's not looking to pass sideways and backwards. He's always positive thinking. He's got a good passing range in him. I think him with Enzo Fernandez, the defensive side that Enzo lacks, will be very much complemented with a player like Ugarte. And Ugarte, with the other sort of more impressive passing quality that Enzo has, can be covered by Enzo. So it is a good combination. Do you know what I mean? Some people are a bit worried about, what about the both heights? They're a bit short. Look, you're not going to have everything in one, man. Like, this is why we are in where we are at the moment, this stage. We can't be... Declan Rice obviously would have been a fantastic choice, but Declan Rice doesn't seem to be keen for Chelsea Football Club at the moment. This is why I wanted Declan Rice at Chelsea, but he's more keen to go to Arsenal. So, look, there are certain things we're going to have to give, certain things we're going to get. The bottom line is, how does Poch set us up with those players? And, winning aerial battles shouldn't just be solely on defensive midfielders. There are other players that can chip in with that as well. But it's not like they are completely useless aerially. But obviously, if there is a team that wants to consistently bomb long balls forward in our defensive half, then Pochettino will have to find a different solution. So that's just my thoughts around that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Liz, did you see Ben Jacobs' tweet on PYS? Ben Jacobs' tweet on PYS? What do you mean by that? Ben Jacobs' tweet on PYS. Let's have a look. Oh, you mean PYS's tweet quoting Ben Jacobs? Is that what you mean, Shanu? I think I've seen that, and I covered that in my last video as well. I think I've seen what you mean. This. Yeah. I'm gonna cover that. Don't worry. I will cover that. But yeah, that's a little bit about that. Damon, good to see you, my man. Chelsea need to learn from clubs like Brighton and NC. You don't need Newcastle. You don't need 60 million platters to do well. We need to find cheaper talent and build them. Some players just need a decent team behind them. Yeah, we're getting. We've got another new scout, so hopefully down the track we scout some really gems. I'll touch on the scout one. He'll get sent off a lot in Premier League. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays. I hope he stays disciplined. I know he got sent off against Arsenal, but sometimes you need that tenacity, man. I need to see that tenacity. Michael Edwards was blown away by the Chelsea project last summer, but the timing just wasn't right. He was made what has been called a tasty offer. Chelsea are happy with their current recruitment and leadership team, so Edwards wouldn't be replacing anyone if he's approached again. In the long term, he can't be entirely be ruled out, but would likely be considered for a new kind of role and perhaps linked to multi-club model. Edwards is on his break still, though, so Chelsea haven't tried anything new today. Fair enough. Look, if Michael Edwards happens, man, that's going to be fantastic. But right now, we'll see. We'll see what happens. At the moment, Michael Edwards is not keen one bit. All right, let's move on to the next news. Big up, Miz. Glad to catch you live. Glad to see you here as well, my man. Big up, my man, Miz. Big up to you as well, Gianluca. Cons, the dressing room will take years to fix. It's been completely torn apart. I hope it's not years to fix, man. I hope Pochettino can come in and command some respect immediately. And I think this is perfect segue talking about that. Raheem Sterling on Mauricio Pochettino's appointment. He's going to have the personality that everyone is going to respect. That's what we need, someone in charge. I mean, if there was ever a particular comment that gives a backhand slap to both Potter and Frank Lampard, then this is it. This completely encapsulates exactly what the players felt. And do you guys remember Kieran Dyer earlier in the season during Graham Potter's time? He was in True Geordie. Kieran Dyer said there are a couple of players that don't feel one bit, respect for Graham Potter. I feel that one of them is Raheem Sterling. And I don't blame him. I mean, at the end of the day, Raheem Sterling and some of the other players that we have, they've been managed by some top managers. And when they see people like Graham Potter and Frank Lampard, they simply cannot connect. They simply cannot respect. It's too hard for them. So someone like Mauricio Pochettino, I'm glad to see Raheem Sterling has come out and directly said he's going to have the personality that everyone is going to respect. That's what we need, someone in charge. Obviously, Raheem Sterling would have known everything about Pochettino when Poch was in Spurs. So Raheem Sterling would have seen how Spurs had done. It was that Spurs team that beat Raheem Sterling's Man City in the Champions League semi-final, I believe, that heartbreaking semi-final for Man City. So Raheem Sterling knows what level of a manager Mauricio Pochettino is. So look, these are the things I hope our owners learn. These things that the players are saying. Thiago Silva obviously had an outburst as well after the Real Madrid match. Kai Havertz recently has said as well that it was a shock all of a sudden. One day you wake up and there's no Thomas Tuchel being the manager, and it was absolutely unexpected for him. And Raheem Sterling, not that long ago, he had an interview in Sky Sports as well, which he said the same thing, and now he's come out and said it again. So for me, respect. Getting the right personnel, getting the right manager is so important because the players, managers need to warrant respect, man. The players, they'll eat you. If you cannot command respect, they'll eat you. Enzo and Ugarte will be great. First, we have to sell homegrown players, Fast, Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, and Chalobah. Let's give time to Chukwuemeka, and I absolutely agree. Laugh my ass off. Lampard in the mud. So many tasty Spurs teas yesterday on Poch's appointment. Yeah, man. Expressions was absolutely killing it. We'll go check his video out, man. He was absolutely filthy about Pochettino's announcement for Chelsea. These guys earn 300k yet cry like babies. This is ridiculous. Sterling has been poor on the pitch. It's not about crying like babies, my man. Like, just this is how I always look at it. Bring yourself, like, just look at from a real case scenario. Paragon, I'm not sure, whether you work full time or whether you study or whatnot. Like, I'm thinking from my perspective. Like, I work full time, right? And I had a piece of hair just go in my mouth. But I work full time, and I'm just thinking, if I had a manager in my team that was inexperienced or just doesn't know their way around how to control, like, my team is a very, very experienced team. All the members in my team, we all know exactly what we need to do, and we've been in the industry for a long time. Imagine getting a particular manager that just doesn't know their way around, and they got the role. I'll be honest, like, I wouldn't be able to respect them either. Like, if I know more than them, if I know exactly what needs to be done, I won't have too much respect for them either. We have to realize this from a real sort of example point of view. Instead of just coming out and say, oh, they earn 300k, crybabies, that's ridiculous. Sterling's been poor. So is the entire team. The entire team has been poor. But it's interesting that Raheem Sterling has come out and said that. Mauricio Pochettino sees a squad bursting with talent and believes he can get a tune out of them quickly enough. And again, Sammy Mogbil this time talking about this. Not that long ago, Frank Lampard has been saying how this group, they're in trouble. There's a lot of things wrong, this, that, the other. Many players need to go. Fair enough. A lot of the things that Frank said, no problems. Yeah, those players need to go. But one thing I expected from Frank as an interim manager was at least some form of a bounce, man. Like, some form of a new manager bounce. Like, you're Frank Lampard. I thought you carry that aura. I thought the players will, fight and die for you on field. And that's not what happened. And now you got someone like Mauricio Pochettino coming, apparently is already saying, this is what Sammy Mogwell is saying, Mauricio Pochettino sees the squad bursting with talent. He sees the squad bursting with talent, and he believes he can get a tune out of them quickly enough. Someone commented earlier on saying that, Ms. I don't think, I think the mentality, the dressing room, mentality will take years to change. But apparently Mauricio Pochettino thinks you can get a quick tune out of all of these players. So, and I believe that it shouldn't take years. I don't expect it to turn around within days, but I think a full season under Mauricio Pochettino, hopefully we can get back to how our standards used to be. Because I understand that respect factor, but as a player, if you are so dependent on just managers to develop you mentally, you are not also there yet. Good example, Dele Alli and Lingard wasted talent. Now, I get you 100%. I think this is why, recently, who was it? I think it was Thiago Silva, post-match, the Real Madrid. He did say, look, it's not always about managers being chopped and changed and whatnot. Like, we need to take responsibility as players as well. Now, I hear you, but at the same time, if you don't have the right manager, like, it's difficult. It's difficult to just keep performing, man. Like, you have to. This is elite level football we're talking about. You got Man City with Pep. You got Klopp with Liverpool, and then you've got Chelsea Football Club with Frank Lampard. It's hard. It's difficult, man. You need an elite level manager to always keep you motivated, always keep you on your toes, always keep you honest. Do you know what I mean? So I hear all of this stuff about, oh, you're getting paid a lot, you're getting this, but they're getting paid because of their talent and what they can do. But you still need a manager to keep driving them, motivate them. Eunice talks football. My brother Eunice is in the house. Good to see you, my man. Potter said he needed tons of time. Lampard saying they're not ready. Poch is saying he can get a tune out of them quickly. Can you see the difference? Finally, a manager with balls and substance. This is it. This is it. Do you guys remember when Thomas Tuchel got hired? Straight away he said, I'm here to win titles. I am here to win titles. I'm here to win games, football games. I'm not here to dilly-dally around. And if you guys remember, Frank Lampard, before Thomas Tuchel was hired, He said this team, that team back then was nowhere near. That team was not capable of winning anything as yet. And then Tuchel came in and we win the Champions League. So this is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. This is the difference. All right, next up, Romelu Lukaku is due to return from his loan spell at Inter Milan in the summer, with Mauricio Pochettino eager to gauge how the Belgian striker views his future before making any decisions. Look, this is where, in one hand, I respect the fact that Pochettino wants Ugarte. This is where I feel like the board, but I guess the board's new as well. How would the board know anything about Romelu Lukaku? Because this is a new board. But this is where I need someone to come in and say to Poch that, brother, believe me, we know everything about Lukaku. You don't want to mess with this. He don't want to return back. He wants to stay at Inter Milan. There's no need to have a conversation whether he can, what he thinks about his future at Chelsea Football Club, this, that, the other. There is no future at Chelsea Football Club for him. He don't want to be here. It's simple. He don't want to be here. I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm not like Matisse, obviously, like he absolutely hates this particular player. Me, I'm not going to say I hate him. I understand. Look, there is a good footballer in him, but I'm just weary. I'm scared. I'm actually like scarred because of his erratic behavior. Do you know what I mean? Like what he did last season. I'm scarred by that. I cannot trust him. I cannot trust his personality. That's what worries me. But, if he can commit himself fully for Chelsea, and if Poch, that's what he wants, okay, but I feel scared. I feel absolutely scared. Recently, when I've seen Romelu Lukaku post-match interviews after Inter Milan matches, he's adamant of staying at Inter Milan. We should just find another solution for him to stay there. If it means another paltry loan, scenario for him, so be it. So be it. There's no way we can sell him. He's going to cost at least 58 million to break even based on amortization and how much time left in his contract. So there's no way there's going to be a suitor out there that can buy him for 58 million. But if there is, Atletico Madrid could be circling around. Maybe Diego Simeone could want a player like him. Let's do it. We just need to find a solution. We need to find a solution. Top Dog RLG, thank you so much for the super chat. How Lampard has come out of this spell without being completely torn apart by mainstream journalists for truly abysmal job will forever be life's unanswered question. 1 win in 11 games. Goodbye. Do you know what? This is why I said. This is why I went after. Matt Law recently. Matt Law wrote a thesis about everything that is wrong in Chelsea Football Club and the players. He had zero words for Frank Lampard. You just know. Like the bias is at the utmost level. Yunus, once again, Lukaku belongs to Hollywood. Send him packing with Megan the Stallion to Jay-Z and leave him there. Yeah, man. I mean, he's too much, man. Lampard is gone. Why are people so intent on trashing a legend? Let it be now. People actually want him to be humiliated by the media. That's not all right. It's not about humiliation, my man. And it's not about Lampard is gone. Let's stop trashing him. It's players. I'm not making up news here. It's players inadvertently talking about these sort of things. And once again, it's not about humiliation. It's about trying to be real. Why hasn't anyone ever talked about Lampard in a realistic manner in the media? That's quite mad. It's absolutely mad. Mauricio Pochettino knows Chelsea severely lack guile and know-how and has told the club to prioritize players with Premier League experience. What he also knows is that despite their season from hell, Chelsea aren't too far away from flourishing. There you go. Once again from Sammy Mogbil, I agree as well. I don't think we're too far away from just clicking again. We just need a good manager to get a hold of us. But having said all of that, I'm not going to go out there and just say, "Oh, we're gonna make top 4 next season." I'm trying to be realistic. If we can come in the top 6, become 6th, fair enough. I know some of you guys don't like this, but off the back of this shambolic season, if we can come back into 6th position, I'll take that. I'll take that because for me, it's a gradual progression. I can't expect from 13th or whatever we finish. I don't even know what we finished. What did we finish in? I can't even be bothered. What did we end up finishing in the table? Where did we finish? Chelsea, 12th. So from 12th to go to top 4, it's asking for a bit too much. But I think Poch is right. If he can just put it all together, I think we could be in for business. Also, by the way, Potter ended his time at Chelsea with a 38.7% win percent, while Lampard ended his stint at Chelsea with 9.1 win percent. Never ever again, please. Never ever again. Never. Please, never ever again. What's the issue with hitting the like button, guys? Come on, smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Chelsea are planning to further strengthen its recruitment department. Talks are ongoing with Andy Cousins to join their scouting team and work alongside Joe Shields. It was announced in March that Cousins was leaving Stoke City. This is good. I want Chelsea Football Club to gather elite scouts. Now, I don't know too much about Andy Cousins. Comes from Stoke City, so I don't know what level of footballers they were trying to get at Stoke City, but Joe Shields obviously is well respected. He's the one who's been working with Romeo Lavia and a few of the other Manchester City academy players whilst he was there in Manchester City. So look, what I'm trying to say here is we do need to invest heavily on scouts. I think there was someone who said earlier on in the live chat, Miz, we cannot just be going out there and just splashing money, 60 million, 70 million, 80 million, 100 million. We do need to find those gems. Obviously, like Man City has with Julian Alvarez, finding him directly from River Plate. And Julian Alvarez looks like world-class level, right? World Cup champion as well. Manuel Ugarte for 15, 19 million or so. We need to find these type of players moving forward. We cannot be just splashing money. It'll be good to add, obviously create a spine. First, create a spine under Pochettino. Some players that can, be here for a long time and become the stronghold of Chelsea Football Club. And then add, do you remember Azpilicueta, ladies and gentlemen? Azpi was what, £7 million or something like that when we got Azpi. So it's transfer business like that. And we should heavily invest on scouts, man. We definitely need good scouts so that in the future we can get some good gems. Problem is we're going to find the best talents and not provide a pathway opportunity for them, just developing them for the other top teams. So well said. And this is why no point in having all these scouts and having all these gems, being recommended. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a pathway, what's the point? There has to be a pathway. So look, at the moment, who did we get? Recently, we got that Kendry Paez from Ecuador. He looks like a very, very solid found for us. Obviously, David Datro Fofana. We got Omari Hutchinson. Yeah, there's a lot of players in our pipeline that we should be able to work with in the coming future. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But bottom line, scouting, invest. Graham Potter warned against too many signings in January and told the board that Enzo Fernandez was overpriced at 106.8 million. Chelsea pressed ahead because they did not want to miss out on Fernandez. This is from Jacob Steinberg. Now, I don't know, man. I don't know how much of this information from Jacob Steinberg is absolutely legitimate, but apparently he worked on this piece with Matt Law. So you got to take that into some sort of consideration. I'm glad we got Enzo Fernandez, man. I'm glad we got Enzo Fernandez because he's the one shining light that we've had in this abysmal season, man. If we didn't get Enzo Fernandez, I think I would be lost next season, man. It's good to know. It's good to feel that next season under Pochettino, both Argentinians, that we can have a player like Enzo Fernandez that we can build around and add players like Ugarte and add potentially a striker and have those players like Sterling and Felix. Hopefully he sticks around. Noni Madueke and all the other different players, Levi Colwell. If we didn't have Enzo Fernandez already in the team, oh my days. Can you imagine the renovation, the revamping that would be required in midfield? So I'm glad someone out there, and it must have been our owners, that did not listen to Graham Potter in that instance, and they did the business. Because I'll tell you what, after next season, and I hope this happens. I truly, truly hope after next season, majority of our fan base and also the rivals will probably look at that price tag and say, do you know what? That was probably a bargain. That was probably a bargain. I hope Enzo Fernandez becomes an absolute mighty superstar at Chelsea Football Club, man. That 106 billion just becomes a paltry sum. That's not true. Chelsea has a plan. Just be patient. We are trying and almost done to purchase Strasbourg and Rio Ave, so we can send talents there. Those that make it come to play us and sell the rest. Not true. Very, very true. This is probably why the multi-club dimension is going to be fantastic, where we can send all of these players and not stunt their growth and get them developed under competitive football. So, and apparently there's a benefit from a financial fair play standpoint as well. By having all of these different clubs, you can potentially mix all of the accounting papers together, because it's Chelsea Group as one. So potentially could help us out in financial fair play as well, which is great to know. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, over 470 people live right now. Smash the like button, guys. Let's get those likes up to 400 easy. If you're enjoying this, let's get those likes up to 400 immediately. If you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. Let's get that going, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, under the terms of his PSG exit, Mauricio Pochettino cannot officially begin his Chelsea until begin his Chelsea career until July 1st. However, groundwork has already begun. Mauricio Pochettino is due in London on Wednesday for a series of meetings and will split his time between the capital and Barcelona in the next month before he officially starts at Chelsea on July the 1st. So, look, officially he starts July the 1st, but you best believe he's already having conversations. He's already having conversations with everyone inside Chelsea, who needs to come in, who needs to go, what the plans are for the preseason. We have to nail preseason. We absolutely have to nail the preseason. So officially 1st of July, but best believe he's already working on things. Chelsea will prioritize departures before focusing on signings this summer, although they are being strongly linked with Manuel Ugarte. So right now we're already seeing, the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek potentially moving on. Mason Mount. I'm thinking we're going to hear something about Mason Mount's departure very, very soon. Very, very soon. So yeah, we are focusing on departures, but as this news is saying, we are also got one eye on Ugarte as well. Miz, I'm very worried about Ugarte's positional discipline. Where would he play? Is he an actual DM? Because the more I watch him, the more he looks like a Kante profile player, not super disciplined. Yeah, I hear that. And I've seen those clips as well. But this is where football CF Candy, he's young. Manuel Ugarte, how old is Manuel Ugarte? This is where you want... this is where you need Poch to, come in and coach, right? This is where he has to coach. He's 22. Like, it shouldn't be beyond Pochettino to make him more disciplined. Like, it's all about the role. His role at Sporting probably is different, but you got to look at his defensive stats. Can he potentially play as a number 6 or play as in a double pivot role? His stats say he can. He's got the skill set. Now it's the idea of coaching him, giving him exactly what needs to be done on that role. Like, for example, let's say for argument's sake, I'm Manuel Ugarte. Let's say I'm Manuel Ugarte. I'm 22. I'm a youngster. I know exactly what I can do and what I can't do. If my manager tells me, this is what you got to do in the match, why shouldn't I listen to that? Why can't I be disciplined? I mean, look at what Pep's doing with Akanji. Look at what Pep's doing with John Stones. Like, those players are listening to his orders. Why can't Poch command those orders to some of these young players and build them and give them roles to, benefit the team? So that's how I look at it, man. This is how I look at it. People forget players can develop over their careers. Rodri was very erratic like Ugarte when he first joined City, and Pep had, good point, Mitch. Yes. Because Pep recently talked about Rodri and said after the first season, he talked to Rodri and said, you need to calm down. You need to relax. You're playing in a position where you can see everything. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to do the simple things. Bang on comment, man. Bang on comment. This is exactly it. Well said, Mitch, man. Well said. You can be coached. You have to be coached. Someone like N'Golo Kante, very difficult to coach someone who's on the other side of 30. Do you know what I mean? So, and plus, I think most managers, when they first come in, they look at N'Golo Kante as a player that they feel like his qualities are diminished if he's just sitting as a number 6. They feel like he needs to be unleashed, much like what Sarri did as well, and rightly so, man. Rightly so. He's more of a seek and destroy kind of a player. Deep dive into the current financial fair play situation at Chelsea. If Chelsea want 100 million striker, they absolutely can do that. But once you do 2 or 3, that's where it becomes important with our outgoings. Everyone in the football world talks about the 600 million spent over 2 windows, but the costs are amortized, whereas sales can be put on the books as instant profit, providing no amortization outstanding. I like this. So expenses can be broken down, but as soon as you sell, that's full realization right away. We must consider new income from the non-footballing side. The new shirt sponsors will be an increase, and things like the preseason tournament will bring in money. Remember, wages are also going down as some players agreed to a wage decrease if they didn't get Champions League football. Plus, further down the line, the multi-club model will put a different complexion on the books. There you go. So look, as much as financial fair play is definitely an issue at the moment, but I think our owners and our board are taking the relevant steps to ensure that we don't fall into the trouble. So, getting rid of a whole heap of players now will bring in the profit immediately into the books, whereas some of the 600 million that we spent, it's not directly 600 in the books. It's broken down into 8-9 years. Do you know what I mean? All the big time contracts that we've done. So it's probably not as bad as some people making it seem to be. But it is a trouble factor, though. It is a trouble factor. So this is why we need to fix it. And obviously wages being decreased, aligning the wage structure. All of these things will help. New shirt sponsor will definitely help as well. But don't forget, our owners, we do want to redevelop our stadium, whether it's, Stamford Bridge getting restructured or whether we go somewhere else. That's going to cost a lot of money. So I think all of these measures that we're trying to take right now is also to help fund that particular project as well, because you best believe once we start doing the new stadium project, I'm pretty certain we're not going to be spending too much money on players, and this is where scouting will have to come into play. So yeah, we're going to wrap up very, very soon. Let's take some of your comments before we wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. We've got nearly 500 people live right now. Smash the like button. Let's get those likes up to 400 easy if you guys have been enjoying it. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's get to 23,000 subscribers. The Prem shouldn't even worry about our FFP. Focus on City. Sporting play a back 3 and with 2 CM. Lol, no wonder his heat map is all over the place. There you go. So it's different formation there, different role for him. Chelsea need to buy a world-class striker. We have never really replaced Drogba. Costa was decent, but not Drogba level. We need to get someone this window. I don't want Chelsea to panic into someone. Really focus as to who you want and figure out that if they're gonna fit. They're going to fit our style under Poch. Because people think Poch is a yes man because he seems silent, but they forget he was a centre-back, Captain Ronaldinho, handled the egos of Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. He's not Mickey Mouse manager. True talk. I guess I probably underestimated as well a little bit. Enzo Ugarte will be slow on the counter and defending a counter with the back 4. Don't see how it would work. But Poch may have a plan. I hope Poch does have a plan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for another video later on in the evening, UK time, wrapping up the day's news. Until then, take care. See ya.